When I look at Extreme Rules into an overall perspective, the one thing I question is that isn't going to follow WrestleMania. As big as WrestleMania was, how exciting and disappointing and one of the most talked about WrestleMania events that it was, is Extreme Rules going to follow that? So before Extreme Rules starts, the pre-show match is going to be El Torito versus Hornswoggle in a WLC match. This is just one of these matches where you just can't go into depth because there's really no need. It's just one of those sit back and relax and see what happens type of matches. So get ready to bring up the popcorn and Pepsi or whatever you're having, or chips. Just sit back and relax and watch this match and watch how this plays out. If I had to decide a winner, the fans. All honesty, I would go with El Torito. Moving on to another match that I really can't go into depth to because this match is really passe. It's not very now, and I think WWE could do a lot better than that. And it's Alexander Rusev versus Xavier Woods and R-Truth, and Xavier Woods has become the fastest rising jobber. R-Truth is a guy that's just there. These two are our tag team. And this is basically Rusev squashing these two guys in probably at least a minute. If not maybe a little bit longer. But I see Alexander Rusev winning here. There's no need for him to be losing matches anytime soon. And that's why I pick Alexander Rusev. And I feel bad for Rusev because Rusev is one of those guys that has a gimmick that tends to be very stale like Vladimir Klosov, but at least he has that manager, Lana, who could be a really good manager for a big guy like Rusev. And that's all I have to say about that. Now, these next matches I am going to get a little bit more in depth of. And the first match is going to be a triple threat match. And it's Jack Swagger versus Rob Van Dam versus Cesaro. And to me, when I look at all these three guys, which guy gains the least benefit from winning? Rob Van Dam. I feel like the WWE is keeping him relevant by putting him in this match. And he also has that history with Paul Heyman. So I can understand that in that sense. But to me, RVD really doesn't benefit, like I said, from winning this match because he's a guy that's just there in this match. He really doesn't need to prove anything. He's been around the block for a number of years, so I don't see him winning this match. When it comes to Jack Swagger, I feel like he needs a personality first before he could win any matches. And with Antonio Cesaro, he's the guy that, to me, shouldn't win this match because he won the Battle Royal at WrestleMania. Let's run with it. Let's keep the momentum going for Cesaro. And you have him aligned with Paul Heyman. You keep that going by putting him over in this match and keeping him the way that he's being booked in the WWE. And that's how I would do it. How I would have... who would I have Cesaro pin? Probably Jack Swagger because, to me, the WWE might go in the direction of keeping Rob Van Dam safe by not having him be the one that gets pinned in the match. That's just my opinion. I even texted Clint about that. And so I think that's the logical choice. I think the WWE might go with Rob Van Dam. And with Jack Swagger also playing it safe because he would be the guy that will get pinned. But he needs something, a personality. At least he's got the mouthpiece in Zeb Coulter, and they should keep that going. I think there's an idea floating around that what could happen is that there could be another potential Real American to reform a tag team with Jack Swagger. I'm down with it. It makes Jack Swagger relevant, and whoever they put in there will probably be well suited. And in all honesty, like I said, Antonio Cesaro gains the most benefit for winning this match. and that's who I'm going with. When it comes to Paige versus Tamina for the Divas Championship, the one thing I hope the WWE does here is actually develop a storyline. Good God. I mean, this is one thing that WWE is lacking. Same with the mid-card, which I will get to in just a bit after this match. But I think the one thing I hope the WWE does coming off of this match is actually have Paige and Tamina develop this rivalry that continues down the road. That's the one thing I hope happens. Now, when it comes to Tamina, she does deserve the Divas Championship, no doubt. She's been around, she's paid her dues, but I think it's too soon for Paige to lose her championship. And to me, the best way to have this match end is maybe Tamina get disqualified and Paige retains the championship. That would be the way that I'd go. But the way the WWE thinks is having Paige probably pinning Tamina or making her submit. Because to me, when I look at what the WWE has been doing with Paige so far, booking her in matches after winning the championship, I feel like that the WWE is going to not have Paige have that one storyline with one certain diva on the roster. That's the fear I have with Paige. They'll keep having Paige winning match after match after match with each opponent, different opponent, etc., etc. Yeah, you get where I'm going. So I think that's why I hope that after this match they should develop a rivalry somehow, some way to keep the Divas Championship legitimized and keep it important to the show. And with that being said, like I said, Paige goes over. And like I said, the mid-card, you have Big E versus Bad News Barrett for the Intercontinental Championship. And the one thing I hope the WWE does here is actually pull an interesting swerve. Why not? Because the whole Bad News Barrett gimmick is so over with the fans. Let's have him, at the end of this match, turn babyface, have him beat Big E, and be the new Intercontinental Champion. And after the match, you have Big E destroy Wade Barrett, or Bad News Barrett, and have him turn heel. It's something you would do if you want to recreate the whole WrestleMania 13 thing with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Bret Hart. That would be an interesting swerve. I think the WWE is in short supply of rare things that should happen, and that would be a good thing. I think, in my opinion, it would keep Big E interesting, it would keep Wade Barrett interesting, and it would also keep the Intercontinental Championship important. Develop a storyline between these two guys. Let the rivalry continue after Extreme Rules. Also, we got Bray Wyatt versus John Cena inside a steel cage. And I hope, and I stress the word hope, that Bray Wyatt wins this match. There's no point of Bray Wyatt losing 2 pay-per-view events, or should I say special events, in a row. And there's also the possible idea of John Cena turning heel. May not happen. They said the same thing with Hulk Hogan, and look what happened. So you just never know with the WWE what they're going to do with John Cena. I think, in my opinion, the logical thing to do is to have John Cena turn heel, have Bray Wyatt turn face, because the more you have Bray Wyatt be the heel, the fans eventually were going to tune out. The WWE is going to flop him. They should keep it interesting with Bray Wyatt. Have him run as a babyface and have that interesting swerve of Cena turning heel. Wouldn't that be perfect? In the perfect world. But of course, WWE will probably decide not to do that and keep it safe and have John Cena go over. And I hope that does not happen. I hope Bray Wyatt wins this match. That is the one thing I hope. Are they going to live up to the match at WrestleMania? Probably. But the only thing that my phone keeps going off. But I hope that that they do have that good match like they did at WrestleMania, but a better outcome. That's the one thing I hope for. Bray Wyatt beats John Cena. And remember what happened at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view event where the Wyatt family cost John Cena the match? They just magically appeared inside the chamber match. The same thing will probably happen. You have Luke Harper and Eric Rowan outside the ring, the lights go out, and all of a sudden they're magically inside the steel cage, and then they have at it with John Cena. Bray Wyatt nails Sister Abigail and pins John Cena 1, 2, 3. Now there's also the idea of letting the rivalry continue and have both guys land on the floor in the exact same time. I don't know if they should go there, because to me, this rivalry should end anyway, because John Cena already overcame the odds at WrestleMania, so there's no need to even continue this rivalry even after Extreme Rules, and that's why I think Bray Wyatt should go over and the rivalry is over, just like that. I hope that happens. Moving on to Daniel Bryan versus Kane for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, and the reason why I'm deciding to talk about this now is because I feel like I said in my Raw review, that they're treating this match secondary to the 6-man tag team match, which I will get to later on. And that's really disappointing because we're talking about the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the main championship in the WWE, and they're treating this as the second wheel to the war between the Shield and Evolution. I don't understand the logic. But anyway, moving on. With this match, Kane versus Daniel Bryan, I think in all honesty, I think Daniel Bryan should go over in this match. But in the same time, I think the WWE should keep that Kane monster gimmick going. If they can somehow incorporate these two things coming in after this match, they're doing something really well here. And with that being said, I hope that that they do run with Kane being that heel after this match, even though I think Daniel Bryan should go over. Is this match going to be any good? Probably. I don't know if this will be the match of the night. It might be one of those matches where it might get lost in the shuffle due to the hype that the 6-man match has been getting. And now I'm going to get to the main event right now anyway, and that's the Shield versus Evolution. There are a lot of things taken into account going into this match. And here's the thing. I'm leaning towards Evolution to win this match for a couple of reasons. One, momentum. You saw at the end of Raw where the Shield got momentum going into Extreme Rules. Definitely, that has its cliched moments, and that alone could say, you know what, Evolution goes over. But yet, you can have the Shield. I actually wouldn't mind the Shield going over Evolution, because that would solidify themselves as that solid, dominant group, and that would really look good on their resume, going over Evolution, a group that has been running roughshod over 10 years ago. So that would make, to me, that alone, I wouldn't mind the Shield going over Evolution, but I think Evolution, to me, should win this match for a couple of reasons. One, why would they even reform Evolution only to have them lose in their first match? And in the same time, you look at wins and losses at recent pay-per-view events. You have the Shield losing to the Wyatt family at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view event. You have the Shield winning at WrestleMania, so why not keep the balance there and have them lose at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view? Same goes with Evolution. You had Triple H losing to Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. You had Randy Orton successfully defend the title at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view event. And you have both him and Batista lose at WrestleMania, which happened, and you also had Batista winning Del Rio at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view event. Yeah. So why not keep the balance there? You have people winning, losing matches, and it just, to me, makes sense when it comes to the whole grand scheme of things of wins and losses. So I think, to me, I'm leaning towards Evolution winning this match, but like I said, I'm okay with the Shield winning. Now, there's also the idea floating around that one of the Shield members might split and join Evolution. There's a possibility of Roman Reigns. It would make sense. The WWE likes those big guys that portray the image of what the WWE looks for in a WWE superstar. He has the size, he has the look, and he needs to talk a bit more, but it is what it is. And you also factor in Ric Flair. Is he going to be a factor in this whole match? Because you saw him shaking hands with the Shield, winking at Triple H, which kind of planted the seeds of Ric Flair maybe betraying Evolution or the Shield. Either or. So a lot of things you could take into consideration going into this match. But overall, like I said, I'm leaning towards Evolution. And those are my predictions for the Extreme Rules pay-per-view event coming up this Sunday. And my question to you is, what are your predictions for this pay-per-view event? Comment below, let me know. Or should I say special event, because WWE decided to change it up. Typical WWE. And while you're at it, while you're commenting below about your predictions, you can also follow MRB Wrestling on Twitter. You can hit that subscribe button down below this video, and you can also like the Make Rock and Bolt Wrestling Review Show on Facebook. And on a final note, to all you viewers watching, get plenty of rest, and always do your best.